Antonio Brown wears the number 84 because 8 times 4 equals 32, and that's the number of teams that passed up on him in the 2010 NFL draft, and judging by his recent antics, I think those teams knew what they were doing. Alright guys, so I was going to do a video about Colin Kaepernick and why he's just so great, and that video was going to come out Sunday, but last night someone left a comment on one of my videos suggesting that I talk about my Antonio Brown trade opinions, and that comment is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And in short, I think that whatever team Antonio Brown lands on, I hope that they can contain his antics, pay him big money, because the Steelers obviously cannot. And I'll get to that in just a second, because honestly the feather that broke the camel's back was the failure of the 2018 NFL season for the Steelers. They would go on to start a stellar 7-2-1, only to fall 2-4 with 3 losses to the AFC West, 3 straight losses to the AFC West. And you know what? That team was so talented. You had Big Ben, who passed for 5,000 yards. You have Juju Smith-Schuster, who led the team in receiving yards. And then you have Antonio Brown, who was a touchdown machine. He had 15 receiving touchdowns this season. So let's talk about Antonio Brown for a moment. Okay, so I really don't care what any of you guys say, because I am a believer of the Madden curse, and I really do think that it hit Tom Brady, because, you know, even though he did win the NFL MVP in 2017, did that team win the Super Bowl? No. Antonio Brown, he's a victim of the Madden curse for 4 reasons, starting with reason number 1.
What kind of shit is that?
Okay, so I go to great lengths to not use profanity in my videos, so thank you, Smokey, for clarifying reason number 1. Okay, so back in April of 2018, Antonio Brown decides to take a trip, an 11-day trip. He discovers that $80,000 and a handgun are missing from his apartment, and he did what any normal person would do. He started throwing furniture out of his 14-story condo. Not only that, but the furniture almost hit a little boy and his elderly grandfather.
Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are.
Okay, so moving on to reason number 2.
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
It's pants on fire, Patrick.
Okay, so it was a week 2 loss versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs would beat the Steelers 43-37, and you see Antonio Brown, he was livid on the sidelines. He was throwing things, he was yelling at teammates, he was lighting up social media, you name it. And not only that, he was avoiding interviewers. And when he finally decided to talk to media, he said that he was committed to coming to work every day, even though he was missing from practice after the loss to the Chiefs. He said that he's committed to this organization, even though that was a big fat lie. He said that he is proud to be a Steeler. He's proud to put on a uniform, and that is also a big fat lie, Diva. And you know what, Diva? Just remember one thing. It's Big Ben throwing passes to you, okay? Had you been drafted by, I don't know, the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 6th round, no one would know who you are, to be honest with you. Like, you think people would know who he is if Blake Bortles was throwing passes to him? Obviously, he'd be a nobody in the NFL, and obviously I'm just a nobody on YouTube, so he's never going to hear me say this. But somebody did call him out on his numbers, and that guy was Ryan Scorpio. He said that he would not have this high of a production had he been on another NFL team, and Antonio Brown's response to that was, "Trade me and let's find out." And of course, the Steelers had no comment as always. And you know what? I don't understand. Like, what is this organization afraid of? Pissing off Antonio Brown? Like, okay. I mean, he's clearly pissed no matter what you do, Steelers. Okay, and reason number 3.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Steelers were walking on thin ice in week 17 of the NFL season, their final game being a home game to the Cincinnati Bengals, and they were depending on the Browns to beat the Ravens or the Titans or the Colts to tie. Obviously, none of those things happened, and guess what? When they were playing the Bengals, that game should have never been that close. And where was Antonio Brown? He was suspended because he was yelling at Ben Roethlisberger during practice, throwing a football at him. Antonio Brown, boy oh boy. Mike Tomlin, the coach, finally decided to lay down the law and suspend him for the Week 17 game versus the Bengals, and shortly after he requests a trade, which leads us to reason number 4.
It's not crazy talk. This is crazy talk.
Like I said, he requests a trade from the dysfunctional Pittsburgh Steelers, and honestly, it's about time. And I think this trade might be good for him. And I say dysfunction because, you know what? It's pretty clear that Mike Tomlin doesn't have control over the locker room. Le'Veon Bell, he's pretty much done with the organization. He's getting traded in the offseason. Honestly, people think that the Steelers are falling apart. I don't, because no matter what happens, I think the Steelers are going to be just okay. You have a Hall of Fame talent at quarterback with Big Ben. I really don't like him for a number of reasons. I think he's arrogant. I think he's condescending. No one ever seems to bring up the sexual assault allegations against him. But you know what? He can sling it down the field. We also have another young talent in Juju Smith-Schuster. He had, an electrifying 2018 NFL season. He had over 1,500 receiving yards. And you know what? Who needs Le'Veon Bell? Because you have James Conner out of the backfield. He was a great surprise to the season for the Steelers. He made the Pro Bowl this year. And as for Antonio Brown, he's making it very clear what he wants. He doesn't want haters. He doesn't want bad energy, bad vibes, none of that. And he wants big cash. So to be honest with you, I wouldn't really spend that much on Antonio Brown, considering that he is 31 years old. Perennial talent, yes. Coachable, not quite. He does work hard. He is very hardworking, and you can argue that he's worked for everything he has. He was a walk-on at Central Michigan, a group of 5 school, and he was drafted in the 6th round, 195th overall by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's literally had to work his way up. The Steelers built him up, and honestly, I hope that this production, this high level of production that he had on the Steelers, I hope that that can translate to another NFL team where you have somebody else other than Big Ben throwing passes to him and slinging it down the field. I mean, the only question that I can ask is this: will he really thrive on another team? Like, honestly. Because he continues to make tweet after tweet bashing the Steelers organization, calling out teams. He's like literally putting everything on blast. Even teams are afraid to sign him. So, you know what? I hope for the best for Antonio Brown. I hope he gets what he wants. And I hope that he can get over his diva antics. Probably not, because that's who he is. Oh, and as for the Steelers, they might draft a wide receiver in the 1st round. And honestly, I feel like they don't have to look very far for potential 1st round talent. Maybe a wide receiver from Oklahoma, perhaps.
Down to 4. Murray. Deep down the field. Holly. Brown. 77.
But we'll see. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I post videos every single week. Hit that like button, subscribe like I said, turn on that notification bell, comment down below, and I will see you next time.